Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I'll get us started with a little get ready with me from the very start where I take off my makeup from last night. So this tripod is not quite at the level I'd like it to be. I kind of look like got a lot of jaunt, got a lot of shoulder, but I need to go get a new tripod. I've got a little tripod that's like stacked up on a couple boxes on top of my bathroom sink. Today I want to show you a eyeshadow look that I just came up with myself, and I haven't seen anyone else do it. I'm really excited about it for a few reasons. One is I cannot get the typical cat eye to look good unless I put a lot of concealer right there. Maybe you can see on camera, I've got a shadow that like goes down right there. I mean, my makeup's not all off yet, but it's there whether or not the makeup's on. And it's not handy having to do a cat eye only when you have your concealer done super well, so I don't do it. I also don't typically do mascara because I'm blonde, and when I put mascara on, to me I look like my brown-haired mother, and it kind of freaks me out seeing my mother's face in the mirror, quite frankly. You can guess what you will about our relationship if I have such feelings. This is a little wipe that I had initially made as little pads for my milk coming in postpartum, but my breasts are too big for these little pads and I cannot keep these centered on the nipple in my bra, so they are my makeup wipes nowadays. I only started wearing SPF a few years ago. What happened was that in all of the free time of the pandemic, I finally got around to like looking at my pictures and figuring out what looked best on me. Oopsies, I got something on my shirt. And I noticed that I thought that all the pictures of me that looked the best were taken in the winter. And after analyzing all these photos of mine, I realized, oh, actually I'd been walking around sunburned every summer and I hadn't realized it. Whoopsies. And then once I saw that in myself, I saw that, you know, come the first sunny day of the year, because we're in Seattle, we have to wait half the year for the sun. My alternative friends who do not follow conventional fashion also looked all sunburnt, and I don't know if they realized it either. I myself have been on a journey of becoming less of a pick-me and more understanding of where like the normal girls are coming from. I'm gonna just lean into the mirror, see what I couldn't see in the camera's view. Put a little on my ears, make a match with this. Is Ilia Skin Tint in Kai with just a few drops of a lighter Ilia Skin Tint added. And they like to say that you can't use makeup as SPF because no one ever puts on enough to actually be good enough as SPF. I might have even been a little more heavy-handed than I usually am, but how I did it basically was the same, where I, you know, start on the nose and I like kind of rub it in instead of like smoothing out, and I'm trying to like build the product up to have some sunscreen coverage. And on the sunniest days, if I'm going to be out a long time, I'll put I'll put like the white zinc oxide based SPF on my nose, and sometimes just right here, because I notice this gets, if not more sunburned, at least more red. And then I'll put my makeup over the white part, but I'll just do that in the center of my face. And since I use this for SPF, because why not? You know, I don't really need it as much under my strong brow bone, but because it's a real brow bone, it makes real shade over my eyes. It is less orange than the rest of my face, so I will put some on just to make sure it matches. This part also is a little more bluish because I have a lot more exposed veins. My ears certainly don't match, and I generally don't bother blending into my neck and making that match. And I just have a face that doesn't match my neck, which it also would not if I were not wearing makeup. I generally cover my hair, so that's why I'm wearing this today, because there's no reason to like put makeup like into my hair that into my hairline that's ordinarily covered up. So I've got like this, you know, kind of hijab style tan line where I've got like these white patches where my hair isn't, that you can see. That's, you know, the same color as my scalp, which would be covered from the sun. Getting into what my makeup style I've been doing is. You'll have to stay towards the end for the really fun part. I'm going to do the top of my eye first. So this is not sold anymore. This is the Truly Madly Deeply from ColourPop. I got into makeup again for the second time in my life in 2022. Again, in the pandemic, when I had like free time to evaluate myself and get into some of the details that you wouldn't nor ordinarily find the time for day in, day out. Although now I know it's important to make time for the little details. They're really important. My face is crazy shiny, but I find with the Ilia, like, it looks ridiculous, but somehow I am finally old enough where my skin will actually absorb the oil in an hour or two, and I won't look crazy in an hour or two, so I just don't worry about it. Which is a contrast to when I was younger and very greasy and thinking I would have lifelong acne like my mother did. And I probably, you know, compared to someone who never has it, I probably have a lifelong acne, but it's not much. It's not anything I worry about. It's not something I feel like I have to take medicine for. I'm taking the shade Blossom. You can see it has a little dip in it. I love it. And I'm going to put it on the outside. I'm gonna look in the mirror because I can see a little better. I previously had a TikTok, and I have deleted and reinstalled TikTok over and over again because TikTok will very quickly swell up to like 3 gigs or bigger in your phone because it has to keep that much data on you, right? I'm going to come in with Matter of Fact, which is going to make me look a little matte and silly. Oopsies. And I'm used. Ooh, did I just ruin my? I think I might have just ruined my Matter of Fact. That's okay. I use it a lot. I'll use my hand. I didn't use to blend this. I've gotten used to using my fingers when I do eyeshadow because, first off, you know, I like woke up in 2022 having not done my makeup in 12 years, and None of the palettes anymore had brushes in it, which was pretty weird. I think I owned makeup brushes, but I didn't have to use them. Okay, I've got one set here, but I somehow got used to using my fingers, and I do still use my fingers a lot. I have this Brush of an Eye set from ColourPop. I kept the box. It's right next to my sink, so it's good to have it in a box because otherwise it would get yucky splashing water on it. And I just bought this. It's got one brush missing. I'm going to replace it. There it is. And I've got this Real Techniques set with the mirror that I'm very excited about. I've been shopping for a mini set of brushes actually for years, and this is perfect. Other than that, my only brushes are this pointed blush brush that I don't see anyone else using on the internet. I see bigger, fluffier brushes, or I see just different shapes if they have a smaller blush brush. Still this from ex-girlfriend of mine. And I've got this that I bought to go along with some CC cream and concealer that I bought early in my makeup journey. I love this. And what I'm gonna do next is use this brush. It's so cute. I've not seen it before. It's called the there it is, Mini Kitten Paw. And I love it. And I'm going to arrange my eyeshadow in a way I've not seen anyone else do. This is the Just My Luck palette. I do need to put it back together. It's sliding around, as you can see. And I'm going to go into that lightest shade. Now I had passed up the Mint to Be ColourPop palette, which is now discontinued, and I wish I hadn't, because the ColourPop doesn't have these 9 pans with the mirrors at all anymore. Again, I went 12 years without putting on my makeup, and now a bunch of the palettes don't have mirrors anymore. But also at the time I didn't know the utility of a light shadow on my face, and I found in my experience that I think just a medium depth makeup look looks like a lot on me, and I'm not as blonde as some of them. But it feels like too much. And this is what I've been doing. I think it's similar to blush draping, and I have tried to look up videos of blush draping that's kind of mixed together with eyeshadow. It also reminds me of Chappell Roan's look, and I can totally credit her for the inspiration on this because I was listening to her music when I was putting a little under here, and I thought, why don't I just pull this out, put it all over my cheeks. And then something a little interesting I've been doing is actually taking a little bit of cutouts, this orange shade, just a little bit, and using it as a little bit of a transition before putting it in, before putting the rest of my makeup on, rest of my blush on, excuse me. And I really like it. It's probably a little hidden thing that you don't even notice because that little bit of contrast there, you have the opposite sides of the color wheel going there, the green and the red, or the orange and the blue, either way, makes it pop more, because you would think that this mitt would just fade into the face and be hard to see, which is of course why you wear black mascara and black eyeliner, because you want it to be very visible. But I found this works great, and I'm going to see if my Baby Cakes blush is here. Yes, it is. And I can keep my stuff in its original boxes. So cute. I love this one. And then same brush. It looks crazy, but I do this all the time. It's just what you get when you get a pointed one. You get a very concentrated dot of color. I think today I used more of that orange stuff and I can see it more. When I had done it the one time before, you could not really see that there was orange between the mid, but I think it's still only to my eye that you can see it. What I also like about this is that it's bringing a lot of attention away from my dark circles. And I think this lighting isn't the best, but I swear it looks good on me. And then next, I'm going to go into Sweet Dreams. This one. Let that zoom in. Sweet Dreams. And it's got a little divot in there. You can see I use it a lot. And I'm going to put it all over the place. I do like to use it by itself too. But using that matter of fact first does help it get lighter. It can be a little orange looking on me if I just put it on without blinking out my eyes a little bit. And then underneath, it's always been one of my favorite things to have sparkle under the eye too. And you know, whether or not I blank out these dark circles of mine with some good concealer, I'm always going to have a shadow there because I have a pretty strong brow, pretty strong cheekbones. Got big eyes. It's not like it's sunken in there, but I've got a lot of bone structure too. And then I have one last thing I'm going to do, which is just to put a tiny bit of green in the corner. Gotta get used to doing that. Now I just did this a very similar look to this with the Ilia color sticks, and I used both the matte. I put the matte on first and then a little bit of the metallic one that's almost in the exact same shade, like kind of in the middle of this area, not in the corner, not on the edge, just in the middle. And I really liked it, and I might buy it. I have always been hesitant to buy any eyeshadow stick or liquid eyeshadow because they're the cost of an eyeshadow palette. They're $32 a piece, but I really like how it came out, and I don't think there's going to be another brand that's going to have like a matte metallic and a matte of the same shade. I really liked it. I would leave it like this, but I can put on a little mascara if you want to see. Actually, I won't. I have to open up my mirror.